I'd love to. We started uh, our work as a group back in 2017, and our first focus was doing records requests because we were wondering what kinds of surveillance technologies are used in the Portland metro area. So we filed record requests to various cities and counties in the area, and we actually really didn't get all that much information back. So, it's really still hard to say what's being used. But one interesting thing is that we filed the same request to Portland Police, Vancouver Police, and I believe it was Beaverton, either that or Washington County Sheriff. And the same request, I got nothing from, actually got rejected by Portland, and Vancouver gave us everything for free. And then Beaverton charged $12, although then I didn't realize at first that I was supposed to pay them. When I asked them about it, they said, oh, don't worry about it. But our focus so far had been mostly on, for a while had been on the record requests, and then we branched out to getting into education because we wanted to share information with the community about privacy and get people to care about it. We did 2 panel discussion events, one last year and one the year before. The first one was on facial recognition, and then the second was on surveillance ordinances. And we did our first workshop, a training workshop on privacy in June. And it was a 3-part workshop that talked about why privacy matters, or what privacy is, why it matters, and then what we can do about it. And then we've also built coalitions in support of privacy legislation, and I've testified at City Council and even once in San Francisco against a high resolution camera network that was proposed there. And the people who are putting in that camera network also had their eyes on Portland and Seattle. And we tried to find out the status of what was going on with that as well. But again, we had trouble getting records requests, although I did get one record that was a carburetor tuning manual. So I'm not sure what that had to do with what I asked for, but I may learn something about carburetor tuning. Also, I want to mention, we've been putting together some information, various resources for the community on our website. There are links to various privacy related tools and other privacy organizations and some educational information. And I want to say too, that back as far as the landscape goes, back in 2018, when I first learned about the privacy resolution, I was very excited to see that Portland was moving forward with that. Resolutions, of course, are non-binding. So at the time I was a little disappointed that, I had wanted more, but that resolution and actually the work leading up to it was a step towards greater privacy protections, and that machine keeps rolling, and it resulted, as you probably all know, resulted with the facial recognition bans last year. There were 2, a public version and a private version. It's in places of public accommodation, which are basically private areas where the public goes. So stores, theaters, restaurants, places like that. But what was very notable about that is it was the first such ban in the entire US. And I know there's some other organizations that are trying to duplicate that at the federal level and in other cities. So that's something definitely for Portland to be proud of. And now I'm very excited that privacy is still forging ahead in the form of creating surveillance policies and digital justice. And I really think that, I'm really excited about the focus on the digital justice part, because there are communities that have been harmed by surveillance forever, really. And for them to have a word, a say, letting the community know what their problems are and what they need, basically, I think can really help make a more just and fair situation for everyone. One last comment on that, just, I don't know if anyone in the audience has filed them, but they can take months or even years and cost thousands of dollars, and you may not get anything back anyway. And I think that people who don't have money to pay thousands of dollars then just can't get records. And rather than 50 people or however many people filing all those requests, it seems to me that it would be much more sensible to just have a report that this is what we're using. The whole community could know and have input and have a say into what is used, how it's used, when it's used, if it's even used at all.